All right. So gonna do so far in free agency, the winners and the losers. For my first winner, I'm gonna go. Yes, I'm gonna go with the winners first. But for my first winner, I have the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder. They signed. Obviously, they traded for Alex Caruso back in early June. Yeah, I think early June. They signed Alex Caruso. You get you get one of the best perimeter defensive players in the league. He can help on ball. He can shoot. I think that's what the I don't I think that's what the Thunder was missing. Another point guard, defensive player to come off the bench. Maybe he might start. I don't know, but I'm expecting him to come off the bench. You sign Isaiah Hartenstein. Obviously, Isaiah Hartenstein had a career year last year. Helped the Knicks get to the second round of playoffs. Went to 7 games. Obviously, the Knicks was hurt, but Isaiah Hartenstein, man, he was he was pretty good for them when Mitchell Robinson went out, and then when Julius Randle basically is out for the season, he stepped in and gave them good production. Obviously, offense isn't his strong point, but defense, rebounding, basketball IQ, could pass to a degree. He helps the Thunder, and I will probably start him next to Chet, but we got to see how that works. Maybe they bring him off the bench. But getting Isaiah Hartenstein, I feel like that was just a great move. And obviously signing back their own free agent, Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins, those guys contribute a lot in the playoffs and just in the season in general. So that was a great move on their part. And so far, OKC, they get an A+. I think right now, I think they are the clear winners of free agency as of right now. So Thunder, they get an A+. Another winner, Philly, the Philadelphia 76ers. I think they're a winner. They get another all-star superstar type player, Paul George. Obviously, still a good defender, 3-point shooter, can handle the ball. He can do it all. And I feel like now that they're forming this big three, and now they're still shipping out the roster and signing Andre Drummond, signing back Kelly Oubre, Eric Gordon. They still got stuff to do with this roster, but as of right now, they're probably, you could say, the second or third best team in the East, and they're trying to win a title while Joel Embiid is healthy. So getting a superstar, all-star type player, even though he's 34 and you gave him a max contract extension, this is what you got to do. And Paul George just fits so well with the 76ers. I just feel like this is an A+. Like, you gotta credit, and also signing Tyrese Maxey back, even though he was gonna come back eventually. But just signing a star player, showing the fans that we're trying to win. So as of right now, the 76ers, they get an A+. Another winner, I'm gonna say the Dallas Mavericks. I feel like getting Najee Marshall, a good 3-and-D guy to come off the bench. Yeah, he's coming off the bench. I think that helps them. You replace him with basically Tim Hardaway Jr. or Derrick Jones Jr. and then signing Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson, like I said earlier, he's one of the best 3-point shooters ever. His defense isn't the same, but I think he can still defend to a degree. So getting basically 3-and-D guys that can help you. Obviously, I think these guys can do better than what the other guys did. Obviously, Tim Hardaway, Derrick Jones Jr. That Derrick Jones Jr. that does hurt to a degree, the point of attack defender, but just signing those guys to pair with Luka and Kyrie, I think that helps them a lot. I'm gonna give it an A, not an A+, but they definitely get an A. The Spurs signing Chris Paul, I think this is a good move. Do I think it's needle type move to maybe get in the playoffs? I'm not gonna say that as of right now. Obviously, we gotta wait and see how it does happen in the regular season. But I feel like it's a good move. You finally get a point guard that's gonna give the ball to Wemby and put him in the right positions to succeed. Chris Paul brings that veteran leadership to that young group. Obviously, everybody on that team is young. You still got Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan, and Trey Jones can learn from him. And you got Stephon Castle, who they just drafted in this past draft. But bringing in a veteran type player who I think can still give you something. Like, I think even though Chris Paul is basically about to be 40, I still think Chris Paul can give you something. Like Chris Paul is still effective. I think he played okay last year with the Warriors. So him starting for the Spurs, I feel like this is going to help Wemby's growth, and it's going to help him be one of the top 15 players in the NBA. So, but I give the move a B only because I just don't think it's going to be impactful to them to make the playoffs. I think they could potentially fight for a play-in spot. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if they ended it, say, at 11 or maybe even get the 10th seed. I wouldn't be shocked, but the West is just so stacked. It's going to be hard to fight for a playoff spot and just a playing spot in general. But Chris Paul to the Spurs, I give that a B. I think it was a good move. My last winner is the Magic. I think the Magic, they signing KCP 3 years, 66 million. I think that was a good move. I still think they needed a point guard, but getting KCP, who is one of the best 3-and-Ds in the league, it helps the Magic. That Magic was really missing shooting. Like, that was really their weak point. Obviously, Paulo, he's gonna be a better shooter eventually. Franz, he will be better too. He had a bad 3-point shooting year, but he will get better at that too. And Jalen Suggs, I think he'll be better, but just signing KCP, who is basically a knockdown 3-point shooter and who's a slashing type guard, I think that's going to help them in their growth. The Magic, they made it to the playoffs last year. I didn't think they was going to make it. And they went to 7 games with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And just signing a good, basically you could say great 3-and-D guy, I think this is going to help them. Like, this was a sneaky underrated move. And I know it's the name to some people. It's probably like, oh, they signed KCP, but KCP has 2 championships, and he was a key component to the Lakers winning and the Nuggets winning the championship. So you got to give the Magic. I give it like a B plus. This was a really good move for them to finally get a consistent 3-point shooter who Paulo can just kick it out to the 3-point line. So I'm glad they got him. This is what they needed. I know there was the rumors about Paul George, but if this is your plan B, I don't have a problem with it. This was a great move. All right. Losers. Oh God. The losers, man. It's a lot of it ain't a lot of losers, but man, these losers are crazy. For the I'm gonna start with the Miami Heat. I think the Miami Heat, man, they need to they haven't done anything, honestly. They resigned, I think they resigned Thomas Bryant, they resigned Kevin Love, they resigned him. And then you could potentially lose Caleb Martin, who has played pretty good for you guys. And you guys haven't done anything this free agency. I feel like the Heat always try to go get this star type player, but they never get him. They never get the star type player. And now you basically depend on an older Jimmy Butler. Tyler Hero still young. Bam is still young and still great, but it's not enough. I feel like they need another consistent scoring punch. And especially when Jimmy Butler is always hurt in the regular season, or to some people, he takes off in the regular season. So you need to find somebody that could be a consistent scorer. I know they was always in the sweepstakes of Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Donovan Mitchell, etc., but they never get them. They haven't done anything this free agency, man. But I mean, re-signing your players gets you something, I guess. I'm gonna give the Miami Heat a D because I feel like they're gonna be the same as usual. They're gonna be a threat to some teams in the East. But am I really worried about the Heat? Not really. We're being honest, not really. Like, I'm not really scared of the Heat. They don't put the fear in my heart. Like, yeah, you got Heat culture, you got Eric Spoelstra, you got Jimmy Butler and all that. But me personally, that don't scare me. And they need to do better. They need to figure a way to bring good free agents to Miami. They haven't got the last free agent was Jimmy Butler, but the last great free agent was obviously Chris Bosh and LeBron James. And they haven't done that since then. They basically just been a mediocre team, and they need to do better. So yeah, Miami Heat, they get a D. They get a D minus. The Nuggets. The Nuggets haven't done anything, and they basically just let in the past two off seasons, they've let two people who helped them win championships just walk. You let Bruce Brown go last offseason. Well, Jeff Green, I'm gonna say him. You let him go last offseason, and then you just let KCP. You just let KCP just walk and didn't get absolutely nothing back. Now you're basically dependent on young players to help them. Like, you still got Jokic, obviously. I still think Jokic is the best player in the world. You still got Jamal, you still got MPJ, and you still got Aaron Gordon. Okay, that's you still got your core four. There's nothing wrong with that. But and as long as Jokic is on the court and playing, you gotta have a chance regardless. But depending on Christian Brown, obviously Christian Brown, I think he was decent his rookie year. I feel like he wasn't as good his second year. Now you're gonna have to put him in the starting lineup, and he's gonna have to be impactful now. He's got to be impactful. I think he's gonna have to shoot better. But now you got to depend on Peyton Watson, good defender. Offense really not that good. Julian Schroeder, he was good at Gonzaga, but obviously it was his rookie year. He didn't really play a lot. So now you really dependent on those type of guys to basically contribute, because they didn't contribute last year really outside of Christian Braun. They didn't really contribute, but now their roles are expanding. And you have Jokic, who I think Jokic is 29. So Jokic is basically in his prime. And you have to do something while you have him. Like, you can't basically waste these years of Jokic while he's great. Man just won 3 MVPs in the past 4 years. And you still got Jamal Murray. But it's like, just the young players, you really depend on them, and you just losing players. And I get it, the second apron, man. I feel like it happened last. I think this is really the first year we're seeing it. And it is, man, that second apron is something different. But you gotta find you gotta do something to help Jokic. And I hear the report saying that Jokic wants Westbrook. I think he brings leadership. He brings another good point guard, the intensity on the floor, off the floor. He's gonna help them, because I don't think they really have a backup point guard, because they did trade Reggie Jackson. Oh yeah, you traded Reggie Jackson too. So I don't even know really their bench. Their bench is really majority young players. But if they can get Westbrook, I think that's a big help. He'll probably play 20-some minutes per game, but that helps. But the Nuggets, man, they haven't done anything. So the Nuggets, I'm giving them a D, because as of right now, they haven't signed nobody. They haven't signed anybody. So yeah, the Nuggets, they get a D. The Clippers, they just let Paul George walk for nothing. You had a chance to trade him to the Warriors, and I get it. The Warriors are division rivals, their rivals in the Western Conference. I get all that. But at the same time, if you have an opportunity, if those rumors are true that you could have got Wiggins, Chris Paul, Moses Mooney. I heard that they didn't want to give up Kuminga, but at the end of the day, I saw Kuminga in the first round pick, and you basically just said no. I feel like that's petty, and I feel like that's just kind of dumb. Like, you just lost Paul George for nothing. You literally just lost him for nothing. Yes, you re-signed Kawhi Leonard. Obviously, in January, you re-signed James Harden. You signed Kevin Porter Jr. You signed all those type of guys. But the Clippers, they're not a title contender now. If Paul George was still there, I think they would be a title contender. And you guys haven't done anything. I feel like you guys might be the biggest L of this offseason, because you just let a superstar just walk for nothing. Like, bro, if I see that my superstar, and if I'm the Clippers and I know I'm not going to give this guy this 4th year, and it's like, there is a chance that he might leave. There's a real good chance this man might leave. And I'm being petty. I could have got something back at least. No, that's an L. I'm sorry. Y'all could have done better. As of right now, I'm giving the Clippers an F. Like, y'all could have got way better. Now y'all not title contenders no more. Now it's basically James Harden, basically an injured Kawhi Leonard every year. What, Norman Powell? You still got Zubac, Terrence Mann. That ain't good enough. I'm sorry. Now, if there's somehow they can make a surprise move, okay, I give you that. But as of right now, nah. The Clippers, y'all get an F for me at least. Y'all get an F. The Warriors, the Warriors. I ain't gonna lie, they get an F too. Like, you basically you did a sign and trade with Klay Thompson. That's perfectly fine. But all you got is 2 second round picks. I don't know how valuable those second round picks are, but you just got 2 second round picks for just Klay Thompson. Yes, you signed Kyle Anderson, 3 years, 27 mil. You signed DeAnthony Melton, but you have Steph Curry. Steph Curry is still good enough. I still think he could play on this level for at least 3 more years. And at the end of the day, I feel like you're kind of wasting the rest of his years. Like, the Warriors, they're not good. They're not a good team. And now you're really gonna have to depend on these young players and Kuminga. You're basically hoping Kuminga takes the next step. Moses Mooney, I feel like he will finally get some playing time. And AirPods, like, you're really gonna have to depend on these guys. And then you let Chris Paul walk for nothing. I feel like you could have traded that. If that rumor is true, that the Chicago Bulls, came to the Warriors and said, "Look, we'll give you Zach LaVine." If somebody wants to say, "Hey, Zach LaVine is better than Klay Thompson is better than Zach LaVine, or they're on the same level," I ain't gonna argue that. But the Warriors need another consistent scorer. Zach LaVine, in my opinion, I think he's still good. I just think what's scaring people off is he was hurt last year and that contract. And obviously, second April. Do you want to pay Zach? Do you want to have Zach LaVine on your roster and potentially pay a second April for just him? Is he worth basically being in second apron? To some owners, probably not. To some, probably is. But that don't matter right now. But if you had the opportunity to get Zach LaVine, who can basically give you 23 to 25 to maybe even 30 points for just Andrew Wiggins and Chris Paul, and you decline that, you basically just said, Steph Curry, we not good enough, bro. We're not good enough. And I just feel like that is terrible management. Like, you're basically going with Stephen Curry and Wiggins, who hasn't been that good the past like year and a half since he won the championship with the Warriors. He hasn't really been that good. You're basically depending on him to be your second best scorer. You still got Draymond Green, but obviously Draymond Green impacts the game in many ways, but scoring wise, that doesn't help. But you're basically it's basically like the Nuggets, man. You're really dependent on these young guys. Obviously, the Nuggets, I think, have better players, but it's basically just Steph Curry gonna have to carry this team now. And I just think that's just bad management on Mike Dunleavy's part, man. That's just bad. You got to do something while you have Steph Curry still playing at a top 5, top 10 level. You got to do something. And I feel like the Warriors didn't capitalize on this. This is just bad management. The Warriors, they get an F from me. Like, y'all could have done something. I'm sorry. Y'all could have done something. You had assets and y'all could have traded them, but you basically just waited Chris Paul. And I think somebody who would have taken Chris Paul for that expiring contract, somebody would have taken him. But nope, you waived him. Klay Thompson, you got, like I said, you got something back, but second round picks, that ain't good enough. At least in my opinion, that ain't good enough. So the Warriors, man, this is bad management. Okay, last team for the losers. I think we all know who this is. The Los Angeles Lakers, man. Oh my God, these dudes. The Lakers haven't done anything, bro. The Lakers, they're always in this running to get these little star type players. He was in the running to get Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson decides to not go to you guys because it's a circus over there. Understandable. And even the Lakers offer him more money, they offer him 4 years, $80 million. He still said no. Klay Thompson still said no. You're in the running to probably get DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan doesn't want to take the MLE, the mid-level exception, for $13 million. He doesn't want to do that. So I don't think he's gonna be there. Yes, you re-signed LeBron James, but at the end of the day, LeBron James, he was willing to take a pay cut. He said, "Look, if we could get an impactful player, I'm gonna take $20 million less. I'm gonna take $20 million less." And Rob Pelinka, you haven't done anything. You haven't done nothing. All we done is resign LeBron, sign the rookies and Dalton Connect and Bronny James, and players just picking up their options. And D'Lo, he picked up his option. Jackson Hayes, he picked up his option. And Christian Wood, he picked up his option. That ain't good enough. We need a player now while LeBron is still playing good. LeBron is basically 40 years old. LeBron probably has 3 years left in this league. At least I think he has 3 years left. And you can't get one impactful player? Nah, something up. Rob Pelinka, you got to do better, bro. You haven't done anything. Like, I don't even know what he has done. Rob Pelinka has done absolutely nothing. The Lakers, they get a fat F. Like, this is sad, man. Like, the Lakers haven't really gotten, like, superstar free agents to come there. The last superstar free agent to come there was LeBron James. What was that in 2019? That was in 2018, 2019? That was a minute ago. Gotta do better, bro. Like, there are ways you can do something. If you gotta trade D'Lo, trade him, bro. Like, D'Lo has really just been inconsistent. He has had his moments, but he's been inconsistent. If you gotta trade Rui, you gotta trade Rui. But we gotta do better, man. Like, we can't be out here like it's the Lakers. We gotta do better. And the Lakers just haven't done anything, man. They're losers. They're an F. Other honorable mentions, I would say winners. I would say New Orleans. Obviously, they get DeJounte Murray, even though that wasn't free agency, but it was a trade. I would give them, I would say they're winners. Another honorable mention, maybe a loser or a winner. It's really not that many, honestly. But yeah, those are the winners and losers of free agency, man. Like, some of these teams, they definitely made moves and made their teams better. That's the whole point. You just gotta make a team better. And there are teams that haven't done anything to make their team better, and you guys are just in the middle. So yeah, that's the free agency winners and losers.